every platinum farm in Warframe 2024. Step 1, get a job. I did one of these almost 2 years ago, so I think it's time to update it as Warframe has changed drastically since, and there are quite a few extra platinum farms. Now in this guide, there are going to be a lot of farms. The list is big, so I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to go over every single farm. You pick whichever one tickles your fancy, and you do your research for the strategy you want to do. If I've missed 1 or 2 farms, by all means pop a comment down below and help out some fellow tenors. Also, I'm live on Twitch, so follow me there and watch me live. T's and C's apply. Let's hop straight into it. The first farm on this list is very simple, but effective. Completely legal. You know, nothing morally wrong at all. So what you're going to do is take a simple prime set that should be, let's say 60 platinum or something, right? And then you're going to go and head on over to trade chat and type willing to sell Warframe prime set for an absolute steal of a 500% markup, which equates to pure and absolute groffer to people who are too lazy to realize they can get it for significantly cheaper. No way, someone actually replied. Alright, well done, you've been promoted. You are now a seasoned Warframe trade chat trader. Well done, well done! The first one on this list is relics. Now this is a massive topic from the start, so I'm going to go over it first, go over everything regarding relics, and I'm going to be brief and quick, so stick with me. Relics are pretty much the most common way of making platinum in Warframe. Get a relic, run a fisher, crack the relic, primed piece equals platinum. Pretty simple. There are different ways of farming said relics. Each relic has a different rarity, which will increase the chances of getting the rare rewards. The most common way people farm relics is running rad shares or just opening them up normally. Rad shares means you will find a group that is running the same relic as you, and they are all running the radiant version, so you have the highest chance of getting the gold part. This is very useful if you are farming a certain gold piece or you are farming platinum in general. This is one of the main strategies, and if you head on over to the recruiting chat, you will always find people saying hosting or H said relic with rad share and 1 out of 4 or 2 out of 4 and so on and so on. The way I would recommend farming relics is sitting there on recruitment chat looking for people who have 2 or 3 people out of 4. Check if you have the relic that they are running, then hop in the squad, run the quick mission, rinse and repeat. This way you can gain platinum super fast and be the most efficient at getting gold parts. Another way of farming relics is obtaining and running vaulted relics. These are relics for frames and weapons that have been vaulted, meaning they are a lot rarer, so your platinum value per relic is a lot higher. This means though that you will have to buy the relics from other players, or if you are a returning player, you can actually check if you have a bunch of these vaulted relics, especially if you have taken a break from Warframe for years at a time. This also leads me onto the Prime Resurgence. This is actually an Ire farm, but it technically falls under relic farming. You will farm Ire and head on over to Vazia, buy the relics in the Prime Resurgence rotation, run those and sell what you get. The best places to farm Ire are bounties on the open worlds, or you can get them from opening up relic packs, which is where I generally get my Ire. Deimos bounties are very good for farming Ire. It also goes without saying that timing is important. So if a new frame comes out, like for example at the time of this video, Protea Prime has just released, so it goes without saying that running Protea relics will be super profitable as people will be wanting to run them all the time. One more thing before I move on to the next platinum farm is there are 2 ways you can go about farming relics as it goes even further. The first way is just opening the relics, get a prime part and sell it whether you're going for the gold or just opening relics of any rarity and just getting your primed parts. The second is farming the entire prime set and selling it as a set. Yes, technically it is slower, but better in the long run as you are saving trades and selling them in larger amounts of platinum at a time. This also goes even further as you can get smart with it and farm prime sets and keep it for the long haul. When the prices eventually go up after time as it starts to get rarer, then you can sell it. But this is an investment strategy that most people don't want to do, they just want to make quick platinum, so this is up to you. Alright, that's relics as simplified as you can make it. You pick how you're going to farm relics. They are the most consistent and one of the more efficient ways of farming platinum in Warframe. Now let's move on to another mother load of a topic, but before we do that, could I ask if you can hit that like button as it really helps me out with the channel. Thank you so much. Mods. There are a ton of mods in Warframe and they can all be sold, some more than others, but I will go over all the different types of mods you can farm to make platinum. The first method is farming corrupted mods. This is a super popular noob platinum farm. When you unlock Deimos, you will get access to the Dragon Vaults. These hold our beloved corrupted mods, which are found in pretty much every build some way or another. I have made a full guide on how to farm these corrupted mods if you would like to go and check that out. I will put a card in the top right of the screen. This is a pretty straightforward farm. Craft dragon keys, put on a speedy frame, preferably titania, speed run the mission, find the vault, extract, and there you go, corrupted mods. Rinse and repeat. These can sell between 5 to 14 platinum per mod, not the biggest in terms of platinum value, but a consistent volume trading strategy. We then have lure mods. These are the drift mods obtained through the lure puzzles on lure. Very, very good. These are quite niche but can be decent if you get good and efficient at them. You can also farm Blood Rush from Lure Spy on Pavlov. Although it is worth noting that Blood Rush can now be farmed through Deimos bounties, you're just going to have to wait for the right rotation to come in. Blood Rush usually goes between 10 to 14 platinum, so it's a really good mod to farm. The next farm is farming Growing Power, which is a super profitable farm. Here you will craft apothecs and run the Silver Grove, which can get you Growing Power and a bunch of other mods that sell really well. This is a tedious farm, if I have to be honest, but again, if you do what people don't want to do, you will always make money. You're going to have to scan a crap ton of plants to craft apothecs to do this farm, and you will also need to find a group to make this super profitable. You can make use of the botanist mod from the Oxidus companion to make this farm a bit more bearable. Growing Power goes for about 30-ish platinum per mod, which is very, very good. Another cheeky platinum farm is selling aura mods from Nightwave. You can sell those aura mods for like 10 to 20 platinum each. It's a really good early platinum farm as well. We then move on to galvanized mods. Galvanized mods are obtained through arbitrations, which you will unlock after gaining access to Steel Path. These can be farmed in large amounts and are a really consistent way of making platinum. Again, high volume, low profits, but consistent nonetheless. I would also recommend selling mods like Adaptation and Rolling Guard, which you can also get from doing arbitrations and buying it from the vendor. I would highly recommend farming galvanized mods as they generally sell like hotcakes, and it's good if you just need a little bit of platinum to buy what you want. There are also Nightmare mods, which come from the Nightmare missions. Duh. Here you will get nice mods like Blaze, Shred, and Hammer Shot, which is a really good one to get as it goes for around 100 platinum each at the moment. However, Hammer Shot is very rare, so it's not something that's consistent. There are a ton of Nightmare mods. I'm not going to list all of them, so you can check them out on the wiki, plan your strategy, and run those missions to try and farm them. We then have open world mods, which you will farm through bounties, like Auger mods, Hunter Munitions, Synth mods from Fortuna, Weeping Wounds, and Blood Rush from Deimos bounties. There are actually plenty more, but what you can do is check them regularly and price check each of the mods you see on rotation and choose which one you want to farm. There are also augments which can be bought from factions. These are a really good passive farm that you could just build up standing over time and sell these. If you stack these up weekly and sell them, you can accumulate a lot of platinum over the weeks. If you are willing to go to the pain, necromech mods sell really well. Most of the time people couldn't be asked to farm necromech mods, so most of the main mods like Flow, Intensify, Continuity, and so on are decent mods to sell. When it comes to farming Liches and Sisters of Parvos, you will obtain Requiem relics, which you can get the Requiem mods from them like Vohm, Riz, and Zata. These are also quite a nifty little platinum farm if you enjoy running these relics. We also have Carl missions, which gives you Archon mods. Most people don't like farming Carl, so if you're willing to do them weekly, it can be very, very profitable. This goes without saying though, that generally in Warframe, the more people don't want to farm it, the more profitable it's going to be for platinum. So if you're willing to get your hands dirty, you will make more platinum. Another method when it comes to selling mods is selling maxed out mods. However, I would only recommend this method if you have abundant endo, as endo is super important for you to max your own mods. This is recommended if you have maxed out all your main mods that you need and you are willing to spend extra endo. Please don't waste your endo. Yes, maxing mods shoots up the platinum price, but it's important to take care of yourself first. Okay, that's pretty much mods summarized. It's a lot, I know, but you can decide what farm you like and stick with that one. Now we move on to Arcanes. Again, a big boy. Firstly, I want to go over Arcane Dissolution, a new mechanic that has been bestowed upon us after the Whispers in the Walls update, and honestly, it is just mint. Basically, you can dissolve your existing arcanes that you have farmed for VOS for and gamble your life away opening up arcane packs from specific pieces of content. This is a really handy mechanic given to us that will save you so much time when you want to farm certain arcanes. Otherwise, we can go into the normal farms. Each piece of content that has been added into Warframe generally has their own arcanes tied into it. So Eidolon hunting gives you arcanes. I just put Eidolon hunting under the arcane section as it just makes sense because you mainly get arcanes from them. It's no secret the arcanes you get from Eidolons are some of the most profitable arcanes to sell: Arcane Energize, Fury, Aegis, and so on. There are also Zaramon arcanes, which I would highly recommend farming our beloved Void Cascade to get all your Zaramon arcanes. And then we have Duviri, which you can farm till you fall over and get some really nice arcanes like Arcane Reaper, for example. There are a lot more places to farm arcanes like Operator, Zor, Amp arcanes, etc, which you can get from Fortuna, Cetus, and the Necrolisk. What I would suggest is heading on over to Arcane Dissolution by Lloyd if you have it unlocked. Here they have conveniently laid out where all the arcanes are and what pieces of content they're from. From here you can decide to go and farm that specific piece of content and sell those arcanes for platinum. I'm not going to list all of them as there are so many arcanes, but that is pretty much arcane platinum farming summarized. The next farm on this list is Prime Junk. This technically falls under relics, I am aware, but it's a decent farming strategy that always works. Prime pieces also have a DuCaT value. DuCaTs are used to buy stuff from Barracuda, the little shit that never brings a mod chance booster. So people like to buy Prime Junk, which is trash items, for a price and turn it in for DuCaTs. So you can just farm relics over and over again and sell Prime's junk in bulk to make a ton of platinum. You can head on over to Trade Chat and get an idea of how much people are selling or buying each DuCaT value for. I would also recommend stacking it up now as TennoCon is around the corner, meaning the Barrow Relay is arriving, so people are wanting to stack up as much DuCaTs as possible. This leads me on to Barrow, our beloved trader that brings us the goodies. Primed mods, vandal weapons, mod chance, and a bunch of cosmetics. You will need DuCaTs like I just explained in the previous section to buy said things from him. So stacking up DuCaTs and buying primed mods is a great way to make platinum as well as his weapons. He does arrive every 2 weeks and arrives on a Friday and leaves on a Sunday, so you only have a few days to buy from him and obtain his wares. You can make a ton of platinum if you buy his primed mods and wait a week or two for the price to go up. We now move on to ribbons. I hate the ribbon market with an undying passion, and I will stand on this hill till my death. But I can't deny you can make an insane amount of platinums through ribbon trading. Basically, you get a ribbon for a weapon, preferably a popular weapon. You roll that ribbon until you get really good rolls. You gauge the price and sell it accordingly. Ribbons go from a few hundred platinum to a few thousand, but you are relying on RNG. However, you can make ribbons a more consistent farm by selling unveiled ribbons, granted a lot cheaper, but ribbon addicts love opening up a ton of unveiled ribbons. Alternatively, you can open them up yourself and maybe land a good weapon, or you can always sell an unrolled ribbon for a little more than if it was rolled. You can make a ton of platinum off of ribbons, but you're going to have to farm the Kuva. Moving on to faction weapons. This falls under the augments you get from the syndicates. You can get augments from each faction, and you can also get faction specific weapons. Now these are expensive, yes, I do agree, but they aren't bad if you consider the fact that gaining standing per day is a passive farm, and as you go about your Warframe shenanigans, you can just notice one day you have enough standing to buy a weapon and you can sell it for a decent amount of platinum. Another potential platinum farm is selling liches and sister weapons as well as ephemeras. This is a slowish farm but can net you a decent amount of platinum if you get a high roll on your weapon, or better yet, an ephemera as well. I know of people who do, and I don't know the exact amount you can get from it, but I know it can be really high, especially if you get a high roll in the right element, like let's say a 50% plus, and even if you get an ephemera, you can sell it for even more. It can be quite lucrative if you get lucky. Hi, FutureFlo here. While editing, I realized I missed 3 farms, which are the Hespar Blade farm for the Brave, who dare take on the Void Armageddon game mode, but the Blade costs 150 platinum plus, which is really good. We then have the Dual Rounds farm, tedious as well, but it goes for 35 platinum a mod, which is not bad. And then a Sporothics farm, which an entire set goes for 140 platinum, which is really good, although this is isolation vaults, which will tie into you farming necromech mods as well. Now what I want to do is move into more specific farms. This ties into Omnia Fishers, a new fisher type recently added and are probably the most profitable to do. The first one is Lure Plasms with Omnia Fishers. These are your conjunction survival relics, and here you can farm Lure Plasms, which you can hand in to get arcanes, or while farming relics through the fisher. This can be quite the profitable farm over time. We also have imprints and breeding. I just wanted to mention this. This is a very niche market that I personally never dabbled with, but I know that you can make somewhat consistent platinums for selling imprints to other players, but it gets really tricky and it's very niche. So this is something that you can look into if you are interested. I don't know too much about it. I just wanted to add as an honorable mention. We then move on to the next farm, which is by far the most profitable platinum farm in Warframe 2024, and probably will continue to be the most popular. And that is, you guessed it, Void Cascade Omnia Fishes. Void Cascade alone drops a ton of relics if you have a mod chance booster, and is even still profitable without one. Then we have Omnia Fishes on top of that, so you can pull an insane amount of platinum per hour with Void Cascade Fishes. You can even go one step further with this. You can use Void Cascade to farm a ton of arcanes, then head on over to Lloyd to gamble your life away with Arcane Dissolution. Although be careful though, there are some arcanes that are worth just selling for platinum instead of dissolving them, but nonetheless it's still a very good platinum farming strategy. And that concludes pretty much all the main platinum farms in Warframe 2024. I'm sure there are a few that I may have missed. If so, pop your platinum farms in the comments below to help out newer tenor. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, a huge thank you to our channel members who support this channel. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you on Twitch, you filthy DuCaT.
Thank you.